The Sony Z4 tablet and Apple iPad Air 2 are two of the finest tablets on the market, but which of these fantastic portables has the upper hand? One of the reasons that Sony's tablet is lighter than Apple's is down to the materials used. Sony's device is plastic while Apple's is metal. Sony's plastic is lovely though. This isn't a cheap looking tablet at all, and it has a slightly rough texture that means that it doesn't feel like it's going to slip out of your hands. On the flip side, Apple's iPad Air 2 is a little less grippy, although there's not much in it to be honest, and both can attract fingerprints, so be prepared to spend a lot of time polishing both the screen and the body of both devices. The screens on both of these tablets are excellent, and you probably won't be able to see any difference between them in most uses. The Sony is slightly better though, and it has vivid colour reproduction and an engine designed to show movies at their absolute best. Apple's iPad comes in 16, 64 and 128GB capacities. The Z4 on the other hand comes in 32GB only, but with the option to expand storage via a microSD slot. This means that you can add a lot more music and videos and cards up to 128GB if you need more space. You can add storage to Apple devices too, but it usually involves an external device of some kind and is rarely an elegant solution. Again, in terms of raw power, the Z4 has more on offer here. Things are never quite that simple though, as Android needs a lot more grunt than Apple's iOS. Both devices perform very well though, and you'll see no signs of lag or slowness in either. Let's be honest here, you probably want to use your tablet in the bath to watch TV shows. You can't do that with the iPad without an optional case. The Z4 on the other hand is water resistant and can manage being submerged. Just remember to close the microSD port first. The Z4 in Wi-Fi only is £500, and that leaps to £580 if you want the 4G version. That includes the Bluetooth keyboard though. Apple's iPad Air 2 costs £400 for the 16GB Wi-Fi model and £500 for the 4G model. If you want a Bluetooth keyboard, you'll have to buy one separately. Of course, there are lots of reasons you might want an iPad over an Android device, especially if you have invested in Apple's app and music store. That said, when you look at the evidence, you can't conclude anything but that the Sony is the better device. The price is reasonably high, but given that it includes a keyboard, it seems reasonable. The keyboard alone is worth about £130 on its own. Ultimately, the Sony Xperia Z4 tablet wins in a battle with the iPad. It has a better screen in both size and resolution, and although it's physically bigger, it's also lighter and is waterproof. The iPad is always a safe choice, but in this case, it's not necessarily the best choice.